My name's Julie North, and I'm a medium and medical intuitive here in Columbus. I do have clients around the world. I work via Skype for a lot of people, so if you're not local, you have an interest in that, I'll certainly help you out. Most of what I do deals with translating. So there's a whole bunch of words that people like to attribute to title, kind of gifts that I have, I guess. My favorite word is translate. Everyone has a group of guides, guardian angels, whatever you want to call them. They don't seem to care what you call them. And I was born able to hear those people. I thought that was normal. Thought everybody did that until I was about 12. And then I found out I don't hear that stuff. So when I got older, I found out I could talk to other people's guides. And that's really what I do. I stay out of it. I don't have any opinion about any of the information that comes through. You're not coming to me to hear my opinion. So my job is to take the information that the other side gives and turn it into the English language, into your English language. Every one of you in here speaks English. Every one of you has a different definition. Just about every word there is. Slightly different. This is how we have misunderstandings. So my job is to intake the concept that they're tossing and turn it into the English language that works for you so that you get the correct intended message. The medical end of that really deals with helping you figure out why you're having a particular physiological condition, whether there be an emotional cause behind it, an intellectual cause behind it, an actual energetic wiring cause behind that, and the guides are really good about sharing that information. It's definitely not the only thing that they talk about, but it comes up quite a bit. To be totally honest with you, I spent most of my life trying to avoid that part of it. I didn't want to do that. But through a series of events, I ended up speaking to a group of doctors, and that sort of started a process of them sending people to me, and that's a big part of what we do. In addition to that, the other side's really good about talking about what's going on in the plane being the human plane, what we perceive as reality, the part that you're consciously aware of. So I tell everyone the same thing. I'm not a doctor. I'm not medically trained or licensed in any shape or form. And I want to make sure that you all understand that, because we're going to be talking about some supplements today and some changes that are going on. Don't take any of this information as medical advice. I'm not diagnosing, treating, curing, prescribing, practicing medicine. Just make sure you get all this stuff checked out by your doctor. Everybody's body metabolizes things a little bit differently. Every one of you has a different chemical composition. So the information that I'm giving to you is not personalized necessarily to you, but more generalized as what's going on in the plane. In medical intuitiveness, one of the things that you learn is that there are certain emotional components behind very specific ailments. You also start seeing patterns of things in the plane. So, for example, anybody in here have, you don't have to raise your hand, I don't want to put anybody on the spot. If you have diabetes, or if you know someone who has diabetes, there is almost always an emotional component behind that that says, I do not have enough love in my life. I might logically know that there are people that love me in my life, and I might believe that I am loved, but I don't feel like there's enough love in my life. And when you come in with that kind of a pattern, you stand in, or you develop that throughout your life, your body actually starts metabolizing the energy and the physiological sugars differently. And it's a pathway to diabetes. People who have autoimmune disorders, for example, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, those people are often empathic people or have had so much energetic or emotional trauma in their life that they don't want to be here anymore. They don't want to be in the body. So on that note, let me explain a little bit about why energy affects the body. So you have a physical body, this one that you're living in. It's a temporary vehicle for your energetic body. So you have a soul, that's what you want to call it, and you have a physical body. The energetic body is permanent. It's here before your physical body, it's here after. It's the constant. You have a physical body for a short period of time. And for any of you that remember old film, if you took two pictures in the same frame, you'd get this slightly off picture. When you are properly aligned, energetic body to physical body, you can't tell the difference. It looks just like this. But when you start experiencing any trauma, we've all heard of people who had a traumatic event who can't remember it. they step out. They separate from their system. But it's sort of like your body is like a puppet. So the strings between you and your energetic body just get stretched out a little bit. You stay out here so you don't have to experience the physical trauma that's going on right now, and then come back into that body. That's a safety and security, a survival mechanism that is hardwired into the system that's available to you. Those people experience a trauma, come right back in. When you have long-term ongoing trauma, which is constant abuse, and it's your perception of abuse, not someone else's perception. If you feel like you're constantly inundated with energy, constantly inundated with emotional pain, the body gets to a place where that builds, and can't stay in it anymore. So just like an instantaneous trauma, you step out a little bit, but there's no opportunity to come back in, because when you try to come back into that body, that pain is still there. You cannot process the emotional energies or the etheric energies that your body is intaking, then you have to stay slightly out of phase. And then after a while, your body gets used to this. And we can't stay like this anymore either. It's too painful, too hurtful. Let's step out a little bit more. So eventually, you get to a place where you're out like this. And just like a puppet, the longer the strings, if you're operating a puppet, the further away that puppet is from you, the harder it is to accurately operate the puppet. That's what happens in chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, autoimmune disorders. The two systems are not working well together. And those people who have those kinds of issues have a need for a tremendous amount of emotional purging. They also have lived a life of tremendous stress. Could have been long-term, low-grade stress, but it builds. One of the first things when you're sick, when you're ill, that you want to look at is your nutrient load. And I'm sure everybody's totally sick hearing about your nutrient load. We all know you shouldn't eat McDonald's, or whatever the case may be. But what we don't think about is the fact that your body is meant to have a certain mineral component in it for its cells to function. We get that logically. We don't realize that we're not getting it in our food. So even a lot of you who are eating all organic are not getting the nutrient load that your system needs. The most common thing that I see every day in my practice is a trace mineral deficiency. Trace minerals. Most people don't even know what trace minerals are. I've had people come back to me and say, my doctor didn't know what trace minerals were, which I can't grasp, but okay. So trace minerals are minerals in minuscule amounts that used to be in the soil, so they were in every single thing in the food chain. Your entire body is in need of trace minerals for every function that it has. You could be taking the most awesome, all-natural, whole food supplement, fermented vitamin, and your body's going to pass it right through if you do not have trace minerals in your system. Your cells have these, like, receptors is what I'll call them. And for all the awesome vitamins floating through in your bloodstream, if you don't have those minerals, the cell doesn't recognize that vitamin A going by, that vitamin C going by. It just holds on to what it has. It perceives starvation. So if you're sick, if you don't have much energy, if you're tired at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but I'm not sleeping totally well at night, I might sleep all the way through the night, I don't feel well rested when I get up. If your eyes don't open in the morning and you go, I am ready, you are probably trace mineral deficient. If you're sitting here, you're probably trace mineral deficient, unless you're taking a trace mineral supplement. So a word of caution about trace mineral supplementation. Every health food store I go into has a laundry list of trace minerals. Some of them are in capsules, some of them are in powders, some of them are in liquids. I have only found 3, 4, okay, I'm being corrected, that the other side approves of. There are 2 that they put most people on, and I want to share them with you in case you're taking notes. The first one I brought with me, and you're welcome to come up and look at it or take a picture with your phone when we're all done. It's made by a company called Source Naturals. It's called Colloidal Life. A lot of health food stores will tell you that this one is not good for you because it has a small amount of preservative in it. The other side says that is true, it has that small amount of preservative. However, the pros here drastically outweigh the cons. That is not true of a lot of the other trace minerals. And I'll tell you why they like this one and why they like the other one. Most trace minerals, when you look at the side of the bottle, will say, these 4 minerals are in this amount. The rest are in naturally occurring varying amounts. That is a true statement. They are naturally occurring. And it gives you the impression that naturally occurring is exactly what you need. And that's untrue. When those minerals are not regulated in some form, you can be getting tremendously high dosages of a particular trace mineral and hardly anything of another. So Colloidal Life manages the vast majority of the trace minerals in that. They have a great PDF if you want to get on their website and look at it, and it'll break it all down for you. The other trace mineral that the other side is particularly fond of, and for the last 10 years or so, this one here has been the one they've been recommending. I've noticed a trend that they're starting to recommend one called Alpha Mineral Health Support more than they're recommending this one. I will tell you, if you buy this, you can get it with the dropper top or with a twist cap. Try to get the dropper top. I know this sounds silly, but if you have a twist cap and you have to pour it on a spoon, you're not going to take it. You're just not. You're not going to go over there and get that spoon. Just get the dropper top. If they don't have the big bottle with the dropper top, get the medium bottle. The dropper top's more important than the size of the bottle. It tells you to take 2 droppers full in the morning and 2 droppers full at night. There are hardly any of you that need those 2 droppers full at night. When you take trace minerals and you have been deficient, your body starts intaking these trace minerals, and all of a sudden it goes, oh, feast! And all the stuff that those cells have been holding on to. Think if you kept stuff in your refrigerator for like 6 years. You know, a couple things go in, a couple things come out, but mostly it's the same stuff. That's like your cells. They're not really doing a great exchange because they're in hoard mode, because they're in survival mode. So when you start taking trace minerals, they sit for about a day and a half, watching this stuff go by, and then they go, oh my gosh, we've got to grab it while we can. And they dump everything and start intaking these trace minerals. If you intake the whole dosage of trace minerals, most of you will have a little mini healing crisis. Seriously, you will feel horrible. Like, I'm getting the flu. Oh, what's happening to me? I feel terrible. These are supposed to make me feel better, and I feel sick. I just want to lay in bed. So just take half a dose of trace minerals. The other thing to know about trace minerals is that when your body has better absorption, it's not just vitamins that it's going to absorb better. It's your homeopathics, it's food, and it's your pharmaceuticals. So most people, by day 3 of taking a half dose of trace minerals, feel tremendously better. And by day 7, the people who are in pharmaceuticals feel horrible. Because 500 milligrams of your pharmaceutical that you've been eating, you've only been absorbing 100 milligrams of. You just didn't know that. You thought you've been absorbing all 500 milligrams. Now you are absorbing 400 or 500 milligrams of that, and you're overdosing yourself. So when you start taking trace minerals, it's very important that you work with someone who can test you, blood test, kinesiology test, whatever testing it is that you want to work with, to manage the dosages of your other things. Or you'll ditch the trace minerals on day 8 because you're sure that's what's making you sick. And your body cannot function without trace minerals. Whether you're into conventional medicine, homeopathic medicine, your body still needs trace minerals. It's just a basic function. So you don't want to give up the thing that it has to have in order to heal you. That would be like saying, I'm not going to eat any more food, ever. I think I'm just going to eat my pharmaceuticals. Your body isn't made like that. So half dose of trace minerals, Colloidal Life or Alpha Mineral Health Support. There is a trace mineral. There's trace minerals in a supplement called Ethereum Black. It's not easy to find. You can take Ethereum Black. It is not as good. It's not as good for basic trace mineral supplementation. If you are one of these people who cannot seem to get your head back in your body anywhere, I'm not here all the time, I don't know what's going on. Ethereum Black is for you. All the trace minerals will help you get back in the body, but the Ethereum Black is going to ground you for sure. The fourth one, I can't quite read. It's Dr. Mortar's, I think. It is also a liquid. This one is a sublingual. You probably can't see it very well, but there is no mark on this dropper. A dropper full is not filling that whole dropper. It's whatever this bulb picks up, which is about 1.5 inches. You can't see that, I'm sure. You can go out here and play with it when you're done. That's a dropper full in every bottle, because all the droppers are the same with the round and the ball on top is the same. So it's 2 of those. A sublingual means it goes under your tongue. 2 of them. Hold it for 30 seconds, swallow whatever's left. It's basically tasteless. Some of you are going to have a little bit of a metallic taste in your mouth. Some of you have some pretty significant heavy metal toxicity. In the body, if your body can't get rid of the heavy metals, if it can't get rid of the other toxins, you're going to have a really hard time getting your cells to function to get you back to health. The idea, though, is not to go, oh, I'm heavy metal toxic, let's dump everything all at once. Anybody ever know anyone who's had a healing crisis? Anybody ever had one themselves? It's awful. It's awful. You wish you stayed sick. Your body has toxin-eliminating systems, liver, lymphatic system, spleen, kidneys, large intestine, skin, all designed to remove toxins. You're toxic. You're built up. If you take all of those toxins and dump them all at once, your body cannot keep up with that. When it cannot keep up with the toxins that you had stored in a nice, neat place, and you've dumped them all into the system, it goes, okay, well, they didn't belong where they were before. Now they're all in the bloodstream. We can't get them all out. So let's store them in the next best place, which is not best at all. Connective tissues are their favorite place to go. If you have sore joints, if you've lost your flexibility, you have frayed, torn, non-elastic tendons, you have secondary toxicity. The best way to get your toxic load down is gently through the use of things like trace minerals. And as long as you are not having a blood thick problem, you want to use a super green, like blue-green algae. I'm sure that's right. Yes?
What's a blood thick problem?
People who have heart or cardiovascular issues are often on things like Coumadin to thin their blood. Some people naturally have a thicker blood problem. Here in Ohio, we have thicker blood. When I first moved to Phoenix, my blood was awfully thick out there, and I had a heat stroke like on the 3rd day. After about a year, my blood was sufficiently thin. When I moved back here, I froze to death. Your blood, your body automatically acclimates that normally. It gets used to a particular environment. A lot of people are dehydrated, so their blood is too thick. Yes?
What would you say about coupling that with ionic detoxification?
I wouldn't say anything about that. However, I'd say that that's going to work for some people. You want to be very careful. Anytime you double detox something, you're asking for a problem. So you have to be careful. We all have this concept like, I'm sick, I'm toxic, I gotta get rid of it like yesterday. Gentle. Try to be kind to yourself. So blue-green algae is a great supplement. I will caution you about blue-green algae. There are other super greens out there. If you have any intuitive wiring at all, blue-green algae is going to knock that up. And if you've been so toxic and so sluggish for the last umpteen years that you weren't really conscious of what kind of intuitive skills you had, and you start detoxing and you're taking blue-green algae, you're going to think you're losing your mind. That's no fun. So if that happens to you, you want to back down off of the blue-green algae. Basically, the other side says no more than 500 milligrams of blue-green algae a day, regardless of what the bottle says. You can cut it in half. You can eat it as a powder. It tastes like living in the bottom of a pond, but you can do it. So every energetic stress that you have, Your physical body's the follower. So you have anything going on in your energetic body, whether you're here or whether you're here, your physical body is going to follow. Sometimes it's going to follow right away. Sometimes it's going to take it a while. If you have discord in an area of your body, when I look at you, it often looks like a ball of crazy yarn. Or it'll look like static on an old TV. There may or may not be a physiological component to that yet, but if it stays that way, there's going to be a physical problem. So physical health is incredibly important because all of that energy runs through you all the time. It is not always just a one affects the other. They affect each other. You want to be more intuitive. You want to be more clear talking to your guides. You want to be healthier. You want to have more energy. It doesn't matter what it is. You have to take care of the physical body and the energetic body. So there's all kinds of practices out there for taking care of that energetic system. The very first one you want to look at is how much energetic baggage, emotional baggage am I carrying? What triggers me? Every time this happens, I'm pissed off. Probably need to take care of it. You might get triggered only once in a while. That trigger is there to tell you that you have a baggage problem. That's why you get triggered. Everybody wants to live a life where they never get triggered. I don't like getting triggered, but boy, I appreciate it. Because that lets me know, oh, I have a problem in there somewhere I've been carrying around. I thought I dealt with that. Nope, guess not. Sometimes emotional stuff is like archaeology. You go down 3 layers, you think you got it, I'm done excavating, thank God. And then next year, there it is again. Anybody had that? No. So work with what you have, work with the layers of it. I will tell you that EFT, standing for Emotional Freedom Technique, is one of the best tools for you as an individual to all by yourself take care of your emotional tool that frequently fails. It fails because it isn't languaged properly, and it fails because you're not consistent with it. So if you go to a practitioner once a week, you're not going to get very far if you're not doing it the other 6 days. There's a guy online that the other side loves. His name is Brad Yates. His nickname is EFT Wizard, for a good reason. He has a YouTube channel that's got over 350 videos online for free. Won't cost you a dime. You can download them to your smartphone, so you don't even have to be in Wi-Fi range. You can be sitting in your car outside the doctor's office going, I'm so angry, I don't know what to do with all this anger. Okay, it works. Download them. Keep them with you. There's one for overwhelm. Best thing you could ever download on your phone. Overwhelm. You can be at a party, people are pissing you off, things aren't going well, you just broke up with someone. You just go into the bathroom, shut the door, and tap for overwhelm. It's 6.5 minutes. He goes through a process of talk about the problem, stir up the problem, validate the problem, talk about the problem, stir it up, get ugly with it, talk about that problem, and then he goes through clearing it out, and letting it go, and moving that stuff out, on it goes, and then he goes into rewiring. This is the key, because you can clear baggage all day long. Most of you have that baggage because you have a program running. A wiring program. Those wires run in your body. Meridians. Anybody heard of meridians? Anybody ever heard of an acupuncturist? They're using those meridians, those lines in your body. Those meridians process your emotions and your energy. If they have a problem, a fracture, a break, a buildup, a blockage, or they get this knee-jerk response that every time this energy comes in, that this is what I have to do. Always, this is what I do. Yes, I know I have choices, but this is the right way to go. No, can't go over there, gotta go this way. You have this knee-jerk response. No matter how much you know, no matter what you believe, this is the program that we're running. Every time. Anybody ever have a problem, they say to themselves, I don't know why I keep doing the same thing, I could just do this. But you can't seem to get yourself to do it? Like, I got that right now. I'm in it, you know? So, EFT changes that wiring. Think of it like the drive between your house and the grocery store, or your house and your job. There are 15 billion ways you can get there. I bet you drive the same way every day. I bet you get there and go, I didn't even remember driving here. How if I got here and we're paying attention, I had 16 traffic lights and 40,000 other cars on the freeway. I don't know how I got here. I can't believe I didn't kill somebody. Because your body just gets in that automatic pattern. In order to stop that automatic pattern, you all have a pattern point. Anybody ever heard the adage, it's 21 days to break a habit, 21 days to create a habit? Well, it's kind of right. It's 19 to 35 days, depending upon who you are. Some of you are 19 days, not very many of you, but if you want to be safe, just go with 35 days. 35 days, I have to do it every single day. And honest to God, put that road under construction, and it forces the energy to run on the side wires, which we're talking about in the EFT. I can do this, or I can do this, or I can do this, or I can do that. Oh yeah. But if you miss a day, you have to start over. Genuinely. Don't go, oh, I'm doing all right. It'll be okay. It's not going to be okay. I'll do 2 tomorrow. I'll do 3 tomorrow. No. No, I only missed it by 6 hours. I only got 6 hours of sleep last night. No. It has to happen at least once, this new pattern, between every main circadian rhythm pattern in your body. Most people's circadian rhythms run at night. So, whatever yours run, you want to be doing your EFT in between those. If you don't, you just go right back to that old pattern. So if you miss day 26, you've got to start over. Don't beat yourself up about it. Try to solve this problem by doing your EFT in the morning. Care enough about yourself to get up an extra 15 minutes early in the morning and do your EFT. Because if you oversleep, or you forget about it, or somebody spilled their cereal all over the floor, you can do it at lunch. You miss it at lunch, you can do it after work. You miss it after work, you can do it before you go to bed. But if you tell yourself, oh yeah, I got this. I'll do it before I go to bed every night. Oh my God, I don't want to get up in the morning. You're going to be restarting all the time. All the time. Because by the end of the day, who wants to sit and do EFT? I want to get in bed. Right? I got things to do. Somebody called me on the phone. I have to clean up this mess. Do yourself a favor and do it in the morning. Take care of the physical body that energy runs through. Take care of the energy that runs through the physical body. So there's an energetic component, there's a physiological component. With that said, I want to transition into something that's been going on. For many years, the energy in the plane has been shifting. First, it started pretty subtly. If any of you follow my blog posts or my Facebook, you know I talk about that periodically, and I write about that shifting of energy. People call it an ascension, they got all kinds of fabulous words for it, whatever floats your boat, it's fine with me. It's a change in energy. That energy is designed to shift the entire plane and everyone in it into a little bit higher range. Anybody remember The Price is Right? Okay, Price is Right was a super cool game where all these numbers were on the board and it had this window, this red window, that slowly moved up, right? That's kind of how energy works. It's a range. We're living in a range. The entire range, though, is going up. See, normally, as a human being, you operate a section of that range. You don't come in running the whole range. Imagine if your life really, truly had the worst possible form of hatred in it, the whole world that exists in this whole world. And the opposite end of that was the most serious love. Imagine how strung out you would be. You run a range. And your goal as a human being is to expand through experience. That's the goal of the soul. That's why you're all here. That burning question, why am I here? To expand through experience. Because when I expand, the whole expands. The whole expands and I expand. When I help you and you expand, I expand. Just because you did. Think of it like a cell in the liver. When it takes care of itself and it gets healthier, the entire liver is healthier by the increase of health in that singular cell. That is how you function. So this whole range is taking an upward swing. And that process has caused the plane, think of it like shuttering. Vibratory ranges come through and go, okay, these lower vibratory things are not going to be in here anymore, just like the Price is Right thing's going up. So everything that you have been carrying as a soul, not just as a conscious human being, as a soul, that is beneath that range, had to go. So since about the fall of 2009, most of you have really been through the ringer. In every way you could possibly think of. You're shedding, things are happening, I don't know what's happening, I'm having these emotional responses that I don't have any tangible, nothing happened to me in my life that made this You feel this way. Why am I purging this energy? Because you're purging it out of the soul. You carry your Akashic records in your field, that they're not off in some library somewhere. You carry them in your field. So when you purge, it's right here, right where you're living. And that's what we've all been doing in varying phases. There's been all kinds of waves come through, purging this thing and that thing. And that's pretty much what's been going on. And then you get to December of last year, and we cross this threshold, if you will, where things start solidifying more. So whatever you didn't have purged, you've kind of been stuck with a little bit this year. And then we started this energy wave, right around mid-July, end of July. Not all of you are in it yet. The people that are support people for the rest of the plane are getting it real bad right now. Think about it like this. If you have been purging emotions, purging baggage, purging past life programs, purging knee-jerk responses in your life, maybe you carried them in from another life, maybe you created them in this life, maybe your dad wasn't there for you. And you get rid of those programs. Great, that's great, you're feeling better, I think I got it together, and then the next wave comes and it's something else. And you're just trying to keep swimming. But we've been so busy purging that we haven't actually gotten to the point of it yet. The point of the whole ascension process is to get you as a human being to really step further into your co-creative, that's what you want to call it, your manifesting, some people call it your godlike selves. A greater sense of awareness of what you're capable of. And you are going to be capable of more than what you were 20 years ago, inherently in your energy. Any of you that have kids under the age of 25, they're wired totally different than you. They're wired for this new energy. I have no idea how they process all those things at once. But they do. And we're just trying to keep up. We're trying to shed things. Oh my God, get rid of this stuff fast enough. So, what has started is what I want to talk a little bit about. I am incredibly against generating fear. I want to be very clear about the fact that that is not what I'm doing here. I'm a big proponent, though, of heads up. And so the heads up is that the energy wave that started very mildly at the end of July, mid to late July, is going to start peaking in December. And if you're not careful, and you don't take care of your energy, and you don't take care of your physical body, you're going to be one of the people that I'm talking about right now. What you're going to see is this energy wave coincided with some very interesting solar shifts. No, we're not going to burn up. Nothing like that. Solar things affect here, though. And those two things combined are going to produce a really heightened state of depression. So when we get to December, January, February, and March, what you're going to see is a lot more depression in people. The suicide rates are probably going to go up. You do not want to be one of those people. You want to be helping. You want to be holding your own. You're going to need some very specific supplementation to keep yourself together. And I brought some of those with me if you want to look at the bottles. The brands don't always matter so much. But one of the things that's very important is a homeopathic remedy. It doesn't have to be this particular brand, called Kali Phosphoricum. It's spelled K-A-L-I. How do you spell phosphoricum? P-H-O-S-P-H-O-R-I-C-U-M. It's like a cell salt. It's like a potassium cell salt. Your body's supposed to have these cell salts in it. You don't get them, so it puts sodium salt in there. And that does not work very well in cells. When you start taking Kali Phosphoricum, it starts putting the right kind of cell salt in your cells so that it can function. Now, whatever the instructions say on the bottle, like this one says take 3 little tiny pellets every 3 or 4 hours, you don't need to do that. You can, If it works for you, muscle test, blood test, whatever your doctor tells you to do there. But really, 3 to 5 of these tiny little pellets in this brand a day, probably going to be sufficient if you start now. If you're in the thick of it though, if you wake up in December and go, holy crap, what's happening to me? You might want to take it like it says. Yes? Dosages are always weight-based. So most of these dosages are going to be for adults. For children, you want to be real careful about testing for them. The children are, depending upon what age you're talking about. If you get beneath 10, they're probably not going to need this too much. Unless they're real empathic or they're wired up like this. And then they might. Mostly this is for tween, teen, 20-something, and the rest of us that are losing our minds.
What's the brand?
This brand is Boron, I think. No, it is not. But I am recording this, and I am going to put the audio on the website. Okay, or the video, either one. Yes, ma'am.
What potency are you speaking of?
This one is 6C. But homeopathics tend to come in 6C or 30C. What that means is how many times it's been diluted. Believe it or not, the more diluted it is, the stronger it is in your body. So if you think you need it bad, get a 30C. 6C works okay. The other thing the body needs a tremendous amount of through this process is selenium. It is a trace mineral. It is in the trace minerals that you're hopefully going to be taking anyway. It's going to be more of this. It's super cheap, like $3 a whole bottle. They don't care what brand. One a day, and in this brand is all it takes. B vitamins seem to have been like an off-the-chart need for this process. And most of this information has come to me, as far as the supplements go, over the course of the last 6 weeks. So I've been doing a lot of verifying with the other side for these. And these are the only ones I know of so far. So B vitamins, a good B complex. And let me tell you, it is not easy to get a good B complex. It's easy to find any B complex, but not a good one. B vitamins are synthetic in a lot of things. And you don't realize that because you're not spending all your time on the internet figuring out the difference between what the synthetic name is and the natural name. But I can tell you that if you look at a B complex and the B12 on that list doesn't have a scientific name next to it, it's fake. If it's the real B12, it's going to be called methylcobalamin. Methyl, M-E-T-H-Y-L, cobalamin. If it says cyanamobalamin or cyanomobaloside, that's fake.
Say it again,
Methylcobalamin. I thought I would have a dry erase board and I'd be able to write it for you, so I'm sorry I didn't bring mine. Cyanamobalamin is when you see your cereal says fortified with B12, that's cyanamobalamin. It's a fake, not found in nature anywhere form of B12. It takes your body 2 processes to break it down. It breaks it into B12 and, anybody know? Cyanide. Just what you needed, right? Just what you needed to get you through the shift. Some cyanide. Yes. For the B, I'll tell you the best B complex I have found is made by New Chapter.
Okay.
New Chapter ferments most of their supplements, not all of them. So they're super absorbable, super digestible, and like it's a bonus, you get a probiotic while you're at it. So, in addition to that, you might need some extra B12. Thank you. It's a lot of work. Anybody ever cry their eyes out over anything? Yeah. Did you really feel like going out and running a marathon after that, or did you want to go to bed? Right. When you move a lot of energy, it is hard on your body. Like, I'm just crying. I can't figure out why I'm so exhausted. It was just my eyes. I'm worn out. It's because you're processing and moving a tremendous amount of energy. That is exactly what's going to be going on here. So this B12 is made by Tropical Oasis. But as long as it says methylcobalamin, and it doesn't have to be a liquid, I like this one because it tastes good. It's fruity. D3, hugely important. If there's no... That's what that is. That's a sublingual B12. Yeah. No, most of the fake B ones are not sublinguals. There are some though. I check it. So D3.
So you're saying take a B complex and extra as B12?
And you might need extra B12. If you're still tired and you're taking your trace minerals and your B complex, you probably need some B12 still. D3. If you have D3 in a pressed tablet, it's probably D2 actually. Hold that thought for just a second. D3 in its good form is liquid. It doesn't matter if you get it in a thing like this that comes out and like takes you 40 minutes to get the drops out. You know, like they're not coming. It is oily. Or if you get it in like these little gel tab things, that's fine. Now there are some protocols that call for 50,000 IUs of D3 for 5 days, and then dropping it down to about 10,000 IUs. I know that the few people that I have checked are okay with that protocol. I cannot say that all of you would be okay with that protocol. So you want to be careful. Very rarely somebody's body will not metabolize D3 very well. Liquid D3 is the real D3. Your body naturally makes D3 when sunlight hits like a cholesterol on your skin. At least that's the way it was explained to me by my friend. And it makes D3 and you absorb it. We kind of wash that off every day. So we're not really getting any D3. And in this area of the world, there's just not enough sunlight, particularly in the winter, which just exacerbates the problem. So make sure you're getting D3. It takes a long time to get your D3 levels up. It's not like you start taking it and all of a sudden I'm in great shape. So it takes a while. The last thing, you definitely want to get tested for it. Lots of you are going to need it, but you want to be tested for it. Because not everybody, and if you take it, it's not for you, you probably won't like it. It's called hypothalamus. It's made by the only brand of this I know. Now the other side does tell me that there are other supplements that do this thing, because I did some checking. It's for the hypothalamus in your brain, and the hypothalamus is what regulates all the systems in your body. The only one I know of, actually a friend showed up at my house with. This company is called Standard Process. They're only sold by doctors or chiropractors. Most of those doctors and chiropractors will muscle test you. There are 2 versions of hypothalamus that they make. This one is hypothalamus PMG. And then there's one called hypothalamex by this company. You want to know which one you're going to take. So the energy shift that's going on, that's how you deal with the physical end of it. The energetic end of it isn't quite so clean. All this shedding you've been doing, get rid of this, I don't have this program anymore, I don't have it. We've been so busy purging and purging and purging that we haven't actually readjusted our tangible physical life to reflect these new perspectives. So what's starting, what's going to really peak come December, is your life is going to look a little bit like it's falling apart. Your relationships, and all of the people that I know that are light workers in the country are already in it. All their friends are totally MIA. Where the heck are my friends? Where is my support system? Because all this previous purge was all about the root chakra, who am I? Because the Kundalini's moving from here to here to live. All about who am I? Now it's all second chakra. What's my support system? Well, holy crap, I've been cleaning us all up and now I know who I am. But when that earthquake happens, my building is not made for that earthquake. So everything's crumbling. It could be your romantic relationships, your friendships, family relationships, job, neighbors, all of the above. For most people, this particular shift will feel like they have been abandoned. I mean, abandoned hard, flat out. Crying, lots of crying. People that are already in it are doing lots of crying. But see, we didn't know ahead of time we were going to need this stuff. So the first people going through this have had it a little rougher. you get your body properly supplemented, it'll deal a lot better with those things. The idea is, okay, you've made all these shifts and changes, but your life isn't set up to work with that yet. So all these friendships, all these relationships, all these connections that you have, all are torn down like a bad game of Jenga. And they're all laying. They're going to lay all around you. They're not going away, they're just going to lay around you, just irritating you, instigating you. And I will tell you, from my own life, I spent 4 weeks standing around being pissed off. Look at all that. And it didn't start changing until I started having an action. So keep this in mind. Throw your temper tantrum, bawl your eyes out, and then pick something up and put it back in your life if it matches. Pick something up. Start some action. Because when you get out of temper tantrum and meltdown and start generating actions like, okay, which piece of Jenga do I actually want? Because some of these aren't going back in your world. They're not supposed to. But you're going to pick some of these things up. Some of these friends, some of these relationships, maybe your job. And go, yeah, I want that. I want it differently. It's probably not going to go back in your life the same way. I'm going to keep you as a friend. We're going to operate a little differently. We're going to do it different. I'm going to keep you as a lover. We're going to do it a little different. I'm going to keep this job. I'm going to do it a little bit different. It's got to go back in a different way. But you have to have some action picking that up. Just like building a new thing out of Lego. You're using some of the same parts, but you got to use them a little bit differently. Help yourselves, help your friends. If they're in the temper tantrum and they can't get out, help encourage them to have an action. Any action. Even if they're bitching the whole time. Any action starts the snowball effect of getting it back together. Does everybody understand that? The supplementation will not make that shift go away. It'll just make it a lot easier. And everything that we talked about is healthy for the body. Anything that you take that is in excess of what the body needs is a toxin. The body has to process it out, so you want to make sure you're managing your doses. You know, these people didn't come to your house and test you and go, oh, I think you need 5 droppers full of that. They kind of did a generalized thing. So you have to know your body or have somebody who's going to be testing your body. So what the bottle says you may need a little less of. If you're a sensitive person, you're definitely going to need less. All that makes sense? Do not freak out. Do not get super depressed just because it could get depressing. Everything is workable. And what you get in the end is you get the thing that you were after, which is a lot less baggage laden. You feel better physically. And I now have a world that I function in that isn't me, clear of my baggage, still functioning in all this crap that I created for the last 20 years. Do you understand? Does that make sense? So it's a beautiful opportunity to be co-creative. You're finally going to put this stuff to use. Boy, sometimes letting go of things and people is painful. So take care of your heart, your emotional heart, your EFT, your body, physically sound and capable of purging and running those energies, and stay hydrated. If you are not familiar with coconut water, that could be your new best friend. Not coconut milk, coconut water. And when you look at that box, you make sure that the only thing that's in there is coconut water, not anything else. You don't need to get the kind with pineapple. You don't need to get the kind with this preservative, just coconut water. You don't need to drink it all the time. One a day, one every other couple days. It helps balance your electrolytes, which are going to be all over the place. So I think I have time for just a very few questions. I know you've been waiting for one.
I take an amino pro complex with collagen protein. What I want to be, that keeps me awake at work for about a good 12 hours.
Yep.
And they sell it downstairs. So when I put that with trace minerals, is that gonna?
You start taking trace minerals, you actually won't need that.
Oh, okay.
Because you're terribly deficient. No trace minerals. And so what that does is that gives you, it's sort of like a natural version of like a boost drink, but it's not actually fixing the problem. So it's great in certain circumstances, but to stay on it permanently isn't a really solution to the problem. So keeping the body trace minerals. Once you get your trace minerals built up, maybe eating enough organic will keep you there. But because the food that you get is just out of it, it's kind of hard to keep that maintained. Yeah.
You already talked about people not having enough energy, but what if you have too much?
Too much energy is also a system process. It's going to depend on who you are. Some people are picking up that high vibratory range, and they're sort of, what do I do with all this? Okay? I don't know if any of you have ever noticed, like I stand around and do this all the time. I'm making fun of me all the time. Sometimes you just got to fidget. Open your feet chakra up. Remember, you're part of a conduit. You're not intended to be some isolated energetic source of nuclear capacity. That's great. And then you go hug somebody and you blow all their circuitry out. It's so much. Open up your feet like a two-way circuit. Allow that energy to flow. In with whatever's in your greatest good. Out with whatever's in your greatest good to let go of. You don't need to say, I'm letting go of pain and sorrow and, the family. You just say, I'm letting go of whatever's in my greatest good to let go of at this time. And then taking whatever's in my greatest good. Open up your feet. Whatever you do with your feet, you always do with your crown. Whatever you do with your crown, you always do with your feet. If you're just opening up here, God, you get way up here in the high vibration, it's so awesome. That might have been great about 15 years ago, but the process that we're in right now is not about getting out here. It's about getting out here, down here. So you got to be bringing your higher self energy in. And that's what most people are getting wiring shifting for. So you're going to end up with some people who are definitely going to be like, now. You got to let that flow. But it can be also a hypothalamus issue where you're not regulating energy very well. Also, if you haven't had in your previous experiences a lot of inflow, you don't know how to release. So it's a practice of getting in balance. Yes?
You said about putting this on a website, this talk.
Yes.
Is that on what website?
I have a website. It's super simple, julienorth.com. And on there I have a blog that I'm real random. I know. But I do post audio when I take it, and this has been audio. And we are taking video, so we might post the video of that. So if you didn't get this information, it might take me a little while to get it up there. But if you're on the mailing list, you will get the information about when that's released so you have it available to you. Okay. Is that what you need?
Yes.
Okay. Yes?
What about people that have tinnitus? They say that it's really incurable. Is there any supplement?
Tinnitus? Tinnitus is definitely not incurable.
Like the ringing in the ears?
Yeah, I know. And I know that they tell you that it's incurable, but it's not true. They tell you lots of things are incurable, and this is not true, or people would have had these miracle cures. So tinnitus is sometimes tinnitus, and sometimes it's, I am picking up other energy. And every energy's got a vibration to it. Think dog whistle. It's a vibration. Dog's got the ability in the little tiny bones to hear that. As you shift, you can hear other things. Some people are starting to hear music. Some of it's discordant to you. Some of it's awesome. A lot of people are hearing that. It's not going away. If that's happening to you, go get some craniosacral. Get the little bones in your head adjusted and your neck adjusted. And I don't mean cracking your neck either. Most bodies don't really like that. And your body, your system has a real serious throwback back to when that probably happened to you in some other lives, because just about everybody's had that. And it'll freak you out. So go get some craniosacral, super gentle, adjust those bones. Very helpful in the system. Acupuncture is also really helpful for tinnitus. Okay? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, my aunt suffers from it.
Yeah. Well, in her case, craniosacral. She needs craniosacral. Acupuncture won't work for her. Her meridian lines are too broken.
Like, is there anything also for like parathyroid? Because it's not the thyroid, it's the parathyroid.
Yeah, they have. I mean, it depends on the person, really, what their parathyroid issue is. what you would give for that. Parathyroid is not as easy to say, do this thing for parathyroid. So, one more. Yes?
What kind of supplement is good for seizure?
For seizures? I think that's our calling card. Trace minerals. Trace minerals. I have seen more, honest to God, I have seen changes in people that every specialist in the country has told them would never happen just by taking trace minerals. If any of you have been to see me in the past, I usually talk about this fabulous little 11-year-old boy that they brought to me, who they had taken and flown all over the country. Who stuttered, at least that was my understanding of it. They'd taken him to all these specialists, and he had stuttered. They couldn't get him to quit stuttering. And the other side was kind of dismissive. They're like, put him on trace minerals. And I remember the mom was kind of like, right, like that's going to help. And some other things were said, so later on she's like, well, if that came true, then maybe I need to do that. And literally within 2 weeks, that kid was stuttering. I've seen people come out of illnesses that they said, go get your affairs in order. Just from trace minerals. Your body is meant to fix itself, people. Like that's its whole job. It's meant, that's what the system is, it's a closed system. You know? So trace minerals help do that.